The current trade was taken 100% hands-free. It was done by a bot. The computer took the trade itself. It even placed the stop and limit orders all by itself. In fact, every trade this week has been taken by this bot. So I left the computer and just went about doing my things for the day. And you'll see this trade plays out, and the computer is thinking. It's trying to decide should it or should it not enter a trade. It will just keep the stop and limit order where they're at, so it won't manage that. But if it decides to enter a new trade, then it will. And this is all configurable in the algorithm that I have. So there you see it went ahead and took the profit there. And now it's about to enter another one. So there it went. It just entered a new trade. And now this one, it was near the end of the day on Friday, and the competition was up by the end of the day on Friday. So I went ahead and manually closed this after a few hours. But it's definitely fun to watch the bot just take trades by itself. It has a strategy, and it knows when to take them, and it just places its stop and limit order in just like a human would. The inspiration for this came from something I wanted to backtest. So I wrote a program in C# using NinjaScript, and that allowed me to go back and backtest a certain strategy over a certain time period. And that's what you see in the bottom left, the longs, shorts, the total, all that information. That is backtesting information from the strategy being used. The backtesting gave me some really promising information and had some great results over a long time period. So my second thing, I said, well, I could manually do this, but what about the trades that are happening overnight or like on Sunday when I'm not like at the computer? Well, I wanted to write a second program that would actually act as a strategy, as a bot that would take these trades for me. And that's what you see here. That's what this week was. So this competition for this week was only using this bot. So it's a two-part system. There's the indicator that allows you to backtest a strategy. And then there's the automated strategy itself that allows you to actually put into place that strategy that you had backtested. In theory, there are strategies that perform better than what was applied during this competition. For example, there are strategies that I found that work better over a 6-year, 10-year period, but that is applying it consistently over those many years. This competition is just a week, so I had to find a way to give the bot really a chance to make it. You know, there's so much variation that can happen in 1 week, especially when you're limited on the amount of trades that can happen over that week. So the first thing I did, I went down from the 5-minute to the 2-minute chart, and the 2-minute should allow us to take more trades. More trades would allow that as deviation to play out. You know, the larger your sample size is, the more closer you'll get to the average. And you can see down here for this strategy, this is the last 1,500 trades, and looking at only the long trades, it had an average of 1.06 points. So if on average you take a trade and it makes 1.06 points, that's a pretty big edge. And so this strategy is what the bot was going for this week. I went into this week thinking that it was a good chance we were going to be bullish and that we would have a bullish breakout above 6,600, 6,700. And if that was going to be the case, then I wanted the bot to have a long only strategy, to be a swing trading strategy. And that's what was used here. I wanted to give it the best chance with the most amount of trades to win over this week. If I wanted to do a competition over 10 years, let's say, I would have actually used a different strategy. And that's because that strategy performs better over all market conditions, sideways markets, bearish markets, bullish markets. So that really optimal strategy, I did not use that in this because I was just trying to win for this week. I thought this is going to be a pretty bullish week, and I got to take the shot. There's 5,000 people competing in this. The range of winners and losers is going to be huge. I have to give the bot a chance. So I found a bullish strategy, a bullish swing trading strategy on the 2-minute chart, and that's what we ran with. So these are the results. The market was up a little bit, not too much, and there was a lot of chaos with the FOMC report.
There's no energy there with him. So you just watch him. It's just very depressing.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely hurt this bot for this week. The downside, the bot was down 1,500. So once again, it was trying to be aggressive. It was trying to take long only trades. It was going for it. It was trying to win and take its shot. The good thing is the bot beat 3,000 other traders. It finished in the top 37% of traders. This bot did better than the average trader. And if you take this strategy and apply it not just for 1 week where you have such a limited amount of trades, but you take it for 2 weeks and a month and a year, then this strategy, as seen by the back testing numbers, would, on average, it would have a positive performance. And once again, this wasn't even the best strategy. This was just something trying to win for this week. So if applying the best strategies that I found, then this would really do great over a multi-year period. 1 week is just not enough trades. It's just not enough of a sample size to be able to see the true performance, especially with this week having an FOMC. So a couple things that hurt the performance this week. I kind of shot it in the foot a couple times. Initially, I accidentally had the contract sizing too small. So you can see here, when you open up a strategy, this is how it looks for me when I'm implementing it. And initially, I had 5 contracts instead of 10. There were actually a couple winners early on that were 5 instead of 10. So after those couple winners, I just decided, we have to go for the max amount of contracts here. We have to try to win. And of course, once I switch over to the max, then that's when some losers came in. So I was losing with the full position size, but winning with a half position size. Then when the FOMC came along, I was trying to decide, do I let it run through the FOMC? In theory, I should. But I decided to turn it off at least for that 30 minutes around the FOMC. And you know what happened right when I turned it off? It would have taken a trade, and it shot up, and it would have taken a large winning swing trade of 25 points. And then there were a couple small losers after that. So then after that about 30-minute time period, I turned it back on. Then I had a bunch of losers again, and I said, okay, maybe the FOMC, it's still impacting the market. So I turned it off, and then immediately there were 2 large winners right after that. So between me messing up the contract sizing and then trying to manipulate it and turning it off and on, that messed up the bot. So from the numbers of the missed trades and then some of the contract sizing, it would have been positive actually if it wasn't for user errors. So the bot was doing its best. It ran 24/7. I mean, it ran 24 hours for the last 24/5 the last 5 days, and if it itself was positive. It was blame the user. It was user error on it not being able to get up to positive. So even with its creator fumbling it during the FOMC, it still managed to beat 3,000 traders. So I'm proud of its performance. I've seen the back testing. I see how it works live, and I'm very proud of these 2 sets of programs. And when someone's ready to run the strategy, they basically just right-click their chart and go to strategy, and they can control it all from right here. So they can choose how many contracts, they can choose their trade direction, what their risk and reward should be, and what account do you want trading on. Maybe you want, sometimes you have different live accounts or prop firm accounts, or you just want to test on a sim count. You can choose which input series. So do you want it on your micro, mini, 2-minute, or your 5-minute chart, or what do you want it on? And then when you're ready, you just click enable, and off it goes. So it's very clean. It's non-invasive. It's not going to be messing with you and your rest of your computer while you're trying to run other things. Then taking a look at the indicator, you go right-click indicator, and I'm still looking for names for these programs, by the way. So if you guys have ideas on what to name these, then let me know. Once again, here you can choose how many trades back do you want to look. So I have this set at 1,500 right now. And we can change that to, let's say, 2,500. So we can make that the last 20 trades or the last 3,000 trades, whatever we want to make it. And then it outputs the information for you. So we can see the longs did better than the shorts over this time period. And in general, because there's a strategy that's proprietary behind the scene, so this is just taking these trades with the risk and reward that we determine. But the strategy is kind of behind the scenes, and then what this indicator is doing is it's using the basically the stop and the limit order that we set, and it's saying if you use this stop and limit order with the underlying strategy, how did it perform over that time period? And the EMA is also one of the variables, so you can change what moving average you want it to be based on. So the EV here, these are the expected value. So on average, if it takes a short trade, it'll make 0.09 points, for example. Now, you'll rarely see these numbers actually go negative because, once again, there's a strategy that's behind the scenes that is very strong in and of itself. So it's almost kind of hard to mess with these numbers to get a negative value down here because the strategy itself is so strong. So when it's determining when to enter the trades, that's what's so strong. And then basically you working with these other numbers, that's just basically refining it and kind of trying to find a more perfect system. So I went into this with the strategy that I wanted to apply, and I said, well, how can I look back at 2,500 or 25,000 trades, and how can I find what the best risk and reward was over that period, or what the best EMA was to use with that as well? And so I needed something automated, and so that's what I created here.